Hello, my name is Amrit Kamal Lenka. I did my BTech from IIT Guwahati, and this video is a part of my demo to showcase my teaching skills. Here I have chosen a topic from chemistry, more precisely physical chemistry. The name of the topic will be ionic equilibrium. Now equilibrium consists of two parts, chemical and ionic. I will not be dealing with the first part, I will be going into the second part, and I will be preferring to talk about three topics mainly that comprises of ionic equilibrium. Now, in ionic equilibrium, the major part is finding pH. The pH of a solution tells us about the acidity or the basicity of the solution. The lesser the pH, more is the acidity, more is the pH, lesser is the acidity. Now this is something that we have learned in 9th and 10th, but right now we learn how to find the exact value of pH given the concentrations and dissociation constants of all the chemicals. Now pH stands for minus log of the concentration of H plus. To find this value, the concentration of H plus should be in the units of molar or mole per liter. So if the H plus concentration is 10 power minus 5, log of 10 power minus 5 will give you minus 5, minus of that would give you 5. So essentially, an H plus concentration of 10 power minus 5 molar results in a solution of pH equal to 5. Now the whole of ionic equilibrium is divided into three parts. First is dissolving an acid or base. Second, dissolving a salt. And third is a buffer solution. An acid or base is quite the same as we have studied before. An acid gives out H plus and a base gives out OH minus on reaction with water. A salt is mainly of four types. One, that is made up of a weak base and a weak acid. Two, strong base and strong acid, and the other two, weak base and strong base, and vice versa. Buffer solution is a special solution. So we'll talk about what comprises a buffer, but what it essentially does is, even if you add H plus ions or OH minus ions, it will not change the pH of the solution. Essentially, if you add something that is acidic or basic to the solution, it won't change the pH. One of the best examples is your blood. So we keep consuming many substances throughout the day, acidic and basic both, but the blood ensures that the pH of the body remains the same. Before delving into the further topics, let me clear some of the main glossaries or the basic keywords that's required to understand this chapter. Now, let's say there is a dissociation. So chemical equilibrium talks about chemicals which react with each other and produce chemicals. So there are no ions in chemical equilibrium, only molecules that react with each other. But in ionic equilibrium, we will see how molecules will be dissociating into ions, precisely a base or a acid. So the first is dissolving acid or base. So I will talk about an acid first. Now an acid or a base can be divided into two types, strong and weak. Strong is of course the molecule that produces more ions, weak is the molecule that produces less ions. Now when we have come to ionic, where people are dissociating into ions, we now treat every chemical as an electrolyte. An electrolyte in which one molecule dissociates to form more than one ion. So acid are of two types, strong and weak. In this chapter, we will not delve into many acids by example. So some minimum common examples are very essential. Strong acids, some of the famous examples are HCl, H2SO4, HNO3. An example of a weak base acid is CH3COOH. Now, a strong acid and a weak acid dissolves differently. How differently? It's about the power to change into ions. So an HCl is a strong acid and a CH3COH is a weak acid. So this breaks into H plus and Cl minus, and this breaks into H plus and CH3CO minus. This being a strong acid, it has no qualms or no reservation about holding some of the molecule back. It will dissociate fully into the ions. The K value of such is so high that it prefers to dissolve the whole concentration into ions. So let's say I've taken an example where I've taken a 0.2 molar HCl solution and I want to see what kind of pH does it produce in the solution. Now this is the initial concentration which you write as C. Because this is a strong acid, we say that the whole of HCl will dissolve. When we say the whole of HCl will dissolve, at the final equilibrium, you will not find any HCl molecule left. So, we say out of the initial C, all the C has dissociated and the final concentration will remain 0. When one molecule of HCl breaks, we know it gives 1 H plus and 1 Cl minus. Similarly, if C molecules of HCl breaks, we know we will obtain C amount of H plus and C amount of Cl minus. But this is not the same in weak acids. In strong acid, every molecule breaks completely, leaving no molecule behind. But this being a weak base, majority of the molecules will remain as molecules. Only a minute amount will change into ions. Now, if this initial concentration of C, we know that a very minute amount is going to break into ions. That minute amount is termed as alpha into C. This alpha is called degree of dissociation. There is one more name for it called dissociation constant. So people write alpha in two forms, either as a percentage or as a constant. If someone says 0.4 as alpha, it means 40% of the whole concentration is going to break into ions. Likewise, someone can write the same 0.4 as 40%. So look for alpha and the words which say that how much percentage of the molecule is going to break into ions. Now this C alpha we assume is a very small quantity because this is a weak electrolyte. Now if one CH3COH breaks, we know we'll get 1 H plus and 1 CH3CO minus. Likewise, if C alpha ions break, we know that H plus obtained will also be C alpha and CH3CO minus obtained will also be C alpha. Now what we are looking for is to calculate the pH. For pH, what we need is the H plus concentration. Now, finding the H plus concentration for a strong acid is very easy because we know that whatever be the initial concentration, the whole amount of molecules are going to break into ions. The concentration taken initially is precisely the same concentration of H plus that we'll find later. So, in this one, when you find the pH, you know that the concentration of H plus is C, or as I've taken in the example, 0.2 molar. So the pH of the HCl solution will be minus log 0.2 or minus log C. As simple as that. But for this, we need to know what is the value of alpha. You can see here that the pH value here would come as minus log of C alpha. We know what is the C, but we don't know what is alpha. So how do we calculate the value of alpha? For these type of problems, they give you another constant with it called as dissociation constant or ionization constant or acid dissociation constant. This all means the same thing. You need to figure out what does it mean. A topic that we have learned in chemical equilibrium before is writing down the ionization constant or equilibrium constant for every reaction. For this reaction, there is an equilibrium constant called K. How is it defined? It is defined as the product of the concentrations of each of the product raised to the power of its stoichiometric coefficient. Here all the stoichiometric coefficients are 1, 1 and 1. So there is no danger here. So the K will be written as the concentration of products raised to the power 1 divided by the concentration of the reactants CH3COOH. So we kept calling this Ka because this pertains to an acid. If this would have pertained to a base, we would have called it Kb. This value would mostly be given in the question. So what you know now, the given quantities are C and K. What you don't know is alpha. But for pH, you need to find this alpha. So finding alpha, we need to go through this relation. Now, when I write the equation, the first step is to balance it so that you get the stoichiometric coefficients right, which you can put here later. After the balancing act, we need to write the concentrations of each of the things, the initial and the final. I have not written the initial here because initial was here C, 0 and 0. But finally I know after C alpha breakup, the amount left of CH3COH will be C minus alpha C. And that obtained on H plus and CH3CO minus will be C alpha each. When I feed these concentrations into this value, what I precisely get is C alpha into C alpha by C into 1 minus alpha. Now, there is a twist here. This being a very weak acid, I know that a very less amount of molecules are going to break into ions, or this alpha is going to be less than 2% or 3%. In such a case, alpha will carry the value of 0.01 or 0.02, and 1 minus alpha will almost remain equal to 1. It won't alter the value much. So, in cases where alpha is small, or shall I say the acid is very weak, we would take this as 1 so that it makes my job easier. Now, you can see that it's C alpha into C alpha by C, which leaves me with C alpha square. Now, this is not a general value. This is obtained when you are taking CH3COH. Let's say if you took a dibasic acid which releases 2H plus, you'll get 2H plus here. If C alpha breaks, you'll find 2C alpha here. This thing being put in the equation, H plus whole square is the thing which you have to write for that dibasic acid. There H plus will be 2C alpha raised to the power 2 again. So you'll get a different value here. This value is specific to this reaction only. Now, we know the value of K, we know the value of C. So what we obtain from here is alpha equal to K by C under root. Now, I can easily obtain my pH, which I found out as minus log H plus. But from the reaction, the amount of H plus is C alpha. But what is alpha? Alpha is root under K by C. So my final equation will be minus log of C into K by C. You have the value of K, you have the value of C. Put it here, operate the log function and you get the pH value. Now, here you can see that you get the pH value as minus log root CK. Many books generalize this as a formula, but again, as I said, this is specific only to this reaction, the specific monobasic acid CH3COH. If the amount of H plus produced is more, you'll find a different value here, and likewise you'll find a different formula here. Now I can write this as minus log CK root. This is the general derivation you have to go through for doing anything. So as an overview, when I write dissolving an acid or base, it means there are two types of each, strong and weak. I found out that for strong bases, the whole concentration would break into ions. So the amount of molecules that I have taken, you'll find the same amount of H plus being produced on the other side. So I can directly write this pH as minus log of H plus, where H plus value is the C, provided it is a monobasic acid. These are just examples, these are not generalizations. For weak bases, as I found out, I got log CKA. As you can see, the weak acid depends on the value of Ka. That would give you the pH. So finding H plus here, going through the same derivation again for bases, I will find the same formula repeating for the OH minus produced in the case of bases. So here I will get POH instead, as minus log C, and for weak I'll get the POH instead as minus log C into Kb. Now my question is, if there is POH, if you know it, then how do you find pH? The answer lies in the ionic product of water. According to scientists, Kw or ionic product is nothing but H plus into OH minus, which takes the value of 10 power minus 14. If you put log on both sides, what you will come to and what this will imply is pH plus POH gives the value 14. Now this is a very important formula that can be applied in each and every solution. So let's say there is a solution mixture which consists of 2 or 3 molecules, each dissociating in their own way. Now the equilibrium of all the 3 would be maintained. This is the nature's law. So at any instant of time, if you apply the K formula for any of the 3 molecules, it will always satisfy it. Now let's say there are 2 chemicals that are giving out the same ion. When you write the K of those chemicals, the concentration of the ion that you take should be the total amount of ion in the whole mixture, given out from whatever amount of chemicals it may be. So no matter how many acids or bases are producing respectively whatever amount of H plus and OH minus, this value will always hold forth, and this equation will always be valid. So when you want to find out, dissolving a base, what is the pH of the solution, it's easier to find POH first and then use this relation to find the respective pH. So let's say you get a POH of 8. Putting in this equation, you know that the pH will be 6.